Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Minnesota State Park Hiking Club Trail series. Today, we traveled to Finland, Minnesota to take the hiking club trail at George H. Crosby Manitou State Park. According to the DNR website, the park was established in 1955 after the 3,320-acre area on the Manitou River was donated by George H. Crosby. From that, I think you can conclude how the state park got its name, George H. Crosby Manitou. The park was originally intended primarily for backpackers, and today still remains a backpack-only park. Backpack referring to the camping amenities, as this park has backpack-only camping, with distances from the parking lot ranging from half a mile to just over 4. There are 21 sites in all. Of the 21 sites, 16 are right along or very near to the Manitou River. There are 5 within close proximity to Benson Lake and a sole site over by the far end of the trail within the park that heads towards the Caribou Falls State Wayside. The amenities, being that it is a backpack-focused camp, are limited to vault toilets located near the campsites. This would be a really cool spot to have a campsite near the river, so you could look out into the northern skies and look up at the stars. I imagine due to its relatively isolated location, it's a pretty amazing sight. I also expect during high times of solar activity there'd be a pretty good chance to see the northern lights here, as well if you could find a good clearing in the trees. As I've said in previous videos of the North Shore parks, this is the one that you have the highest chance of running into wildlife on the trail. The park is home to bears, wolves, moose, and deer, among numerous other animals, so it's important to keep that in mind, those general safety tips when hiking. One I always utilize is to ensure that I'm making enough noise that I don't accidentally surprise an animal. Yeah, it may be nice to get a glimpse of some wildlife, but I'll trade that to lessen the risk of me running into a bear or a moose and surprising us both. I tend to employ this by periodically clearing my throat or making a large intentional cough to alert anything near me. It's been pretty effective for me so far, but it's good to look up tips for your specific areas, to check with it rangers when entering the park and getting the latest news on the local wildlife. Like most of the North Shore, the geology is sculpted by the lava bedrock that makes up most of the ground in the area, as well as the remnants and glacial debris that deposited atop the bedrock. The river cascades through this volcanic canyon and is surrounded by the beautiful forest all around. The forest has a plethora of northern hardwoods, firs, cedar, and spruce. Accounting for 2.7 miles of the hiking club, the trail starts from the main parking lot over towards the entrance and immediately plunges into a small, winding trail. The majority of the hiking club trail is on the Humpback Trail, which is aptly named as it takes you up and down several ridges on your way to the Manitou River. After some time, you come to the first ridge. It's got a small opening in the trees so you can see the canopy of the valley below. The day we hiked there was also a strong breeze that hurriedly carried clouds across the sky, periodically shading us. After you clear the Humpback Trail, you descend down into the area where the Manitou River flows. The first good spot to have a look at the river is fantastic. It's a waterfall area that has many large rocks. It would be the perfect area to sit and take in the sounds of nature as well as enjoy the sunny spot after being in the woods for the majority of the trail. The waterfall is more like a drawn-out cascade with several different shelves that extends for a time, and then the trail peaks in and out to provide solid views of the waterfall. And at the bottom, there's a nice look upwards. This particular spot was a popular fishing spot, and whilst I looked at the waterfall for a few minutes at the most, the angler next to me caught 2 decently sized fish. The final section of the trail is the middle trail that stretches from the bank of the Manitou River to the parking lot over its distance of about 0.8 miles. The distance of the river and falls slowly fades away and returns you to the tranquility you experienced on the first segment of the hike. There will be slightly more people on this trail as it serves as the expressway to the waterfalls and river. My favorite part of the park is the seclusion and tranquility of the trails. The parking lot was nearly full when I set out upon my hike into the park, and during the whole hike I only saw maybe a handful of other people on the trail, and most of them were by the river and waterfalls within the park. The long stretches of trail which I only heard the forest sounds around me and the wilderness was fantastic. In comparison to a lot of the other North Shore parks, which are beautiful, and all have their special charm. This one was by far the most peaceful. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this addition to the series, let us know, and also let us know which one you'd like to see next.